see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Juan, we got Jameson, we got Lorenzo, we got X, we got Sir Knight, Michael. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Freddie, I see you as well, man. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. Today, we are at the eve of the final 53-man roster cut down for the entirety of the NFL. And man, do we got a lot to talk about today. Huge shout out to the people that ended up obviously, staying, up to date with all the videos here on the channel. Appreciate you, man. I think we just hit 17,200 probably within the last maybe day or so, and we're trending into hitting 17,300 just like that. So thank you guys so very much for obviously subscribing it up and smacking the like button and supporting, right? Because at the end of the day, we do this because this channel exists, man. Appreciate you guys up and foremost. Let's go and have a absolute good show. Now, we ended up hearing some crazy breaking news dropping in the world of the NFL. No, nothing to do with the Arizona Cardinals, but definitely something to know of, basically talking about, because we talked about this player as a potential player that's going to get moved off. Now, I never really thought that he was going to get moved. Like I mentioned before, you got to be really, really dumb to move off players like Parsons, Hendrickson, as well as McLaurin. But now it's finally official, ladies and gentlemen. Terry McLaurin has now secured the bag to stay with the Washington Commanders. Good job. Well deserved. This guy right here is probably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Has had a crazy amount of 1,000-yard seasons just in general. And let's be real here, guys. Like, if Jaden Daniels is expected to continue his build off of his rookie year, he needs his wide receiver one. Like, let's be real, he needs his wide receiver one. So definitely congratulations over to Terry McLaurin. Would I love to see a breaking news the Cardinals are trading for Terry McLaurin? Of course I would have, right? But realistically, I never thought that was going to be a real thing. But here you go. Terry McLaurin now staying with the Washington Commanders. Absolutely amazing for him. Let's keep it going here. There was a report coming out here, and I believe this was from Ian Rappaport. I think he's actually hosting the Pat McAfee show, if I'm not mistaken. But he ended up saying, for what it's worth, that teams are reaching out to try to trade for edge rushers Parsons and Hendrickson. Now, we're not going to really talk too much about this. We already kind of talked about this in nauseum. Do I want him? Yes. But at the end of the day, do I feel like the Cardinals are going to make these moves? Probably not. But it's really, really kind of cool to see these things happen because, guys, like, we're literally less than 2 weeks away. We're 2 weeks away from the start of the regular season where the Cardinals are going to be opening it up versus the New Orleans Saints. And man, oh man, oh man, this is what you want to see, right? This is what you want to start seeing trending into the direction of, we got regular season football coming back. And this is the real football, right? Like, we've been talking about, oh, we got football back, right, for the past month. Like, real football is coming our way here in September, and it's coming quick. It's gonna come and hit you in the face real quick. So yeah, let's get this going here, ladies and gentlemen. We got some people here in the chat saying 32 mil per year, less than CD. But here's the thing, right? CD Lamb is younger. And then Terry McLaurin, he's going for, you never know. Like, a lot of these wide receivers could potentially go past the age of 33, 34. I believe he's 31, 30 years old right now. So if it's a 3-year deal, it's going to take him to what? He's like 30, 34. You still got Keenan Allen still playing, right? So maybe you can get another secured bag somewhere down the road. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be really cool to kind of see what he does with the Commanders. That's definitely a team a lot of people are going to be watching this year because obviously Jaden Daniels and what he done in his crazy rookie year, taking his team all the way to the conference championship, right? So good for them. And let's see exactly what happens with the Commanders. But let's talk some Cardinals, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're all here for. We're here to talk some Arizona Cardinals because if you guys do not know, today marks the eve of the final 53-man roster that's going to be cut down tomorrow And we're already starting to hear reports about teams that are already making moves already. I think the Browns already cut like 17, maybe like 13, 17 players. You guys have other teams making some moves already. So do I expect the Cardinals to make some moves today? I mean, it's a possibility, but I feel like the Cardinals usually like to kind of wait until the day that it's finally official, right? Now, we've all talked about players that, could make it, or players that stood out in preseason. We had this whole big video, it's like a 16, 17-minute video about players that really shined a lot in preseason for the Arizona Cardinals. And to be honest with you, it's been a very, very good, like, it's been very, very good preseason football, right? But like, take that for what it's worth. It's preseason football at the end of the day, right? It's not one of those things where you're gonna hang your hat on. Well, I guess some people might hang their hat on the fact that the Cardinals are 2-1, but at the end of the day, it's preseason, right? You're rolling a lot of second, third stringers, fourth stringers out there, especially in that last game where I kind of said it. We kind of talked about it a little bit because Jonathan Gannon left the door open, saying like, "Oh, he hasn't made a decision yet." But I think realistically, we all knew that they were not going to be playing in Week 3. You had some starters of other teams playing in Week 3, which is cool to see. But at the end of the day, you really want them to stay healthy, especially for the time that actually matters. So, but there's been players, man. There's a lot of players that look really, really good in preseason. There's a lot of people that don't really pay attention too much to preseason, and that's fine, right? I get it. At the end of the day, these are second stringers, third stringers, fourth stringers that are probably not going to see the light of day when it comes to the 53 unless there's a crazy amount of injuries that happen, which hopefully that doesn't happen for the Cardinals. But it's still exciting. Like, it's still exciting football, still Cardinal football at the end of the day. So, and any chance for me to see that type of football, I'm game for. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and dive right into potential cuts. Now, we do have the same graphics that we ended up seeing on the last video that we posted yesterday. It's the same graphics that we're going to be posting up here as well. But I want to get you guys involved, right? I want to hear what your guys' overall thoughts are in terms of potential cuts. Do you think there's going to be some surprise cuts for the Arizona Cardinals this year? Now, we've talked about this last week when John Gambadoro ended up of Arizona Sports ended up coming out and saying that there can be some, surprise moves happening, right? One of the surprise moves he ended up saying was B.J. Ojulari getting some sort of settlement, right? Justin Jones getting some sort of injury settlement. Now, do I feel like that's going to happen? I mean, I hope not, right? I hope not. I've seen a lot of the comments about B.J. Ojulari. People are pissed off. They're like, this guy can never stay healthy. And I get it, right? I get it. This is a big year for B.J. Ojulari. I don't think the right way or the right decision is to flat out cut him and don't give him an opportunity. I get we got a lot of defensive linemen, right? A lot of depth within this core, but he does bring a level of pure pass rush to this core that's, I mean, we probably didn't have in 2024. In 2025, we have a lot better of a core right now. But I don't know. I don't want to see B.J. Ojulari just flat out get cut and go to another team when he's healthy and absolutely wreak havoc over there. I still do think there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes down to B.J. Ojulari. When it comes down to Justin Jones as well as Bilal Nichols, that's where it gets a little intriguing, right? Or in terms of like, will the Cardinals decide to bring them back? I mean, that's going to be the big question out there. The Cardinals last year in free agency, they were the big time signings for the Cardinals, right? Bilal Nichols, Justin Jones, and Jonah Williams, they were the big time signings for the Cardinals. And believe it or not, they all were said to be Iron Man, and none of them were able to stick with it. Like, unfortunately, they all got hurt. Right at the end of the day, they all got hurt, which sucks. But those were the big time signings. So are we going to be living in a world where we do see maybe a Bilal Nichols or maybe even Justin Jones get cut at the final 53? Maybe. There's been a lot of people, man, a lot of people talking about, them potentially not making the 53-man roster. And this has been one of the best defensive line upgrades that I've seen in 1 year. Like, shout out to Monty Ossenfort for making this upgrade in 1 year. Bringing in a fan favorite in Calais, Josh Sweat, the big time acquisition this last year. Dalvin Tomlinson, once he was cut from the Browns, the Cardinals jumped on the opportunity to bring him in, right? And of course, you're going into year 2 of Darius. You bring in Walter Nolan, which as of right now, still don't know. We still don't know what's going to happen when it comes down to Walter Nolan. So it's intriguing. It's very, very intriguing to see what this 53-man roster cut down is going to happen here for the Cardinals. But these are my potential cuts that I feel like are no-brainers, right? That are most likely going to happen. Now, are they going to land themselves in a practice squad? Potentially, right? Potentially. You could definitely potentially see these guys in a practice squad. Why? Michael Walker, a new Arizona Cardinal that we just signed this year, but it was just a 1 year deal. Akeem Davis Gaither most likely is going to be your middle linebacker opposite side of Mac Wilson Sr. Tajon Palmer, I was really rooting for the young man. I was really hoping he was going to get his opportunity and show out. He didn't really do very much in training camp. Or actually, let me take it back. There's been a few training camps that he looked pretty solid. But preseason, there really wasn't anything out there for preseason for us to kind of get excited about. So I definitely could very well see him as a cut. And then also Andre Bocelli, which, as you can tell, that's the old Arizona Cardinal uniform, because you don't really see very many pictures of Andre Bocelli very much, right? Because of him never making the 53. And even if he was, he probably was on the roster for probably a day or two. And then unfortunately probably got waived and put back to the practice squad. So it's going to be a real interesting situation here. Now, let's take a look at the running back core, right? Because I got my guy here in the chat. John Pro, what's up, John? He says running back room is too big. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting, right? The running back core. I think we all know what the top three is going to be, right? James Conner, Benson, and Amari DeMarcado. And then DJ Dallas, right? DJ Dallas is put in here for the sole purpose of DJ Dallas is your punt returner. So that's why he gets the edge over a Bam Knight, right? Over a Michael Carter. Now, we lived through this before, guys. I know on my last video and all throughout social media, we see a lot of people kind of advocating for Michael Carter to come into this roster. Believe me, I love Michael Carter. Believe me, last year I was on my soapbox talking all things bring in Michael Carter. But what Amari DeMarcado can bring this Arizona Cardinal offense with the pure pass protect is very, very, like, it's inevitable. Like that's you need that type of pass protect. He's probably one of the best pass protecting running backs we have on this roster right now. So for what it's worth, you know, he's most likely going to make the roster, right? I think no doubt he's most likely going to make the roster for the Arizona Cardinals as the third running back there. Let's keep this going here. I'm telling, there's a lot of moves happening right now. There's a lot of moves happening. If you guys do not know, the Eagles just released Kyle McCord, and I think wasn't he drafted? Was it last year? Or was it this year? Kyle, or was he undrafted? Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles, they ended up going after Kyle McCord in the 6th round in 2025. And guess what? He just got released 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago, per Jordan Schultz, Kyle McCord just got released by the Eagles. Wow. And that's not the only moves that's been happening, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the only move that's been happening. More moves that's been happening as well. Cam Akers has just been released, which is a running back, which was with the Rams, right, for a very long time. Not anymore. He got traded over to the Vikings. But yeah, moves are happening right now. Moves are happening left and right. And are the Cardinals going to be making moves before tomorrow? There's a possibility, right? There's a possibility that can very well happen, for sure. We got a few people here in the chat. Wasn't McCord a whole? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Jesus Ortiz in the chat. Wasn't McCord a Ohio State quarterback for Marv? Yes, he was. 100%. He was actually Marvin Harrison Jr.'s quarterback. He was Marvin Harrison Jr.'s quarterback back there. And then he ended up moving over to, I believe, Syracuse. And I think Will Howard took over Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, for the year. So yeah, he was. Will the Cardinals go? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's also going to be another fascinating thing too, right? Another thing that people aren't really talking about is the quarterback situation. Like, we know number one, number two. We know Kyler. We know Brissett, right? We know Kyler. We know Brissett not being our number one, number two. But can the Cardinals really live in a realistic world where we actually have the Arizona Cardinals go after another quarterback, right? Go after another quarterback. Because I don't know if you know this, or if you watched my video that I posted a long time ago before Jacoby. This is before March, right? I ended up putting, quarterbacks that I want the Arizona Cardinals to target, right? One of them being Jacoby Brissett. We got Jacoby Brissett. But the other one being Snoop, right? Tyler Huntley. Guess what? Tyler Huntley was just released by the Browns yesterday. So there's another quarterback that the Cardinals could potentially bring in. Like, are the Cardinals done with Tune, right? Because right now it seems like practice squad is going to be the way, right? Right now it seems like practice squad is going to be the way for Tune. I mean, I could be wrong. They can carry 3 quarterbacks. Would I do it? Probably not. I mean, the trend has been 2 QBs. That's probably what's going to happen as well. But right now, that's another position the Cardinals can very well look into, right? You got Tyler Huntley just being released. You got Kyle McCord just being released, and he was drafted in the 6th round this last year by the Eagles. Like, yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. The Cardinals can go into the quarterback market and potentially claim somebody, right? Claim somebody. Mega Man in the chat. I'd rather have him versus Tune. He could develop a bit better. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, it even goes beyond, right? Like, when you have a either practice squad QB or maybe even a third string QB that's on the roster, your preseason's much better, right? Your preseason is much more exciting to watch. And then B, the development of these wide receivers, it helps them out tremendously. And I'm not going to come out here and say Tune is like the worst QB ever, but I mean, like, it is unfair for a lot of these wide receivers and tight ends in that third game when Tune didn't throw more than 100 yards. How's anybody going to succeed in putting up good tape, putting up good stats, right? When the ball has not been flung past 30 yards all freaking game long. Or it might have been a few times, but like it wasn't consistent enough for these wide receivers to try to do something, right? Your Xavier Thomas, your Semi Fehoko, right? Your Tyjon Palmer, right? So it's interesting. So maybe the Cardinals will. Maybe the Cardinals will dip their toes in the quarterback market. That actually might be a fascinating video idea right there. You know, quarterbacks that are just getting released that the Cardinals could potentially go after if the Clayton Tune experiment is over. Let me know in the chat if you're looking into maybe something like that, a video idea like that. Let me know in the chat because that would be actually pretty fire. Now thinking about it, that would be actually a pretty good idea. Because believe it or not, even when the 53-man roster is constructed, there's going to be moves after. We're going to get breaking news tomorrow that, oh, here's a 53-man roster for the Arizona Cardinals. Here we go, right, on a silver platter. And there's going to be moves that are going to be made because the Cardinals are still looking at all the players that are being cut by all these teams. All these teams that are cutting players, the Cardinals are looking every which direction. No stone unturned. So although we might get our 53 tomorrow, right? We might get it tomorrow, or we will get it tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of changes still happening. Still. So, yeah. I mean, I say why not? I say why not? Why not dip the toe, right? Why not dip your toes into the idea of potentially going after another quarterback? Why not? Right? I ended up posting this on my X/Twitter page yesterday when Snoop was released. And for the most part, a lot of people were very receptive of it, right? A lot of people were pretty receptive of the Cardinals potentially bringing in Tyler Huntley. A lot of reception. Now there are some people that came back and said, "Oh no, we got Jacoby and we got Kyler. We don't need him." Well, it's not the fact that we need him or not. It's a good quarterback that can win you a game in the NFL regular season and a good quarterback that can develop, right? I mean, that's what you're looking for. But not a big need, right? You're right, right? James in the chat, not a big need. Yeah, 100%. Not our biggest need at all. But it's just something to talk about, right? Just something to talk about. John in the chat, I love if the Cardinals dived into the QB market. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it either. I wouldn't be mad at it one bit either. But let's see. And it's more for a developmental guy, right? That's what we're looking for more than anything. A developmental guy. So we'll see, right? So these are my potential cuts. I am looking at the roster right now. Do you guys think that there is going to be some surprise cuts tomorrow? And I mean by surprise cuts, I mean maybe BJ Ojulari. Do you think that will happen? I don't think it will. I personally don't think it will. But do you think there's going to be some crazy surprise cuts that happen tomorrow, right? Because also the cornerback position. Let's look at the cornerback position right now, right? Will Johnson, Max Melton, Garrett Williams. That most likely is going to be your 1, 2, 3, right? Now the Cardinals are going to be rolling with, what's it? Keitrell Clark, Elijah Jones, Denzel Burke, Jalen Jones, Stephen Gilmore, and then Darren Hall, right? Maybe we see Keitrell Clark or Elijah Jones get the axe, right? Although we all love Darren Hall, does he get the opportunity? Denzel Burke, late round pick this last year. I mean, he's shown some things here and there, but for the most part, he's obviously not our best cornerback, right? So there's that. Here we go. We got a hot take coming our way. Let's go. We will end up cutting Jonah Williams by week 4. Whoa, that is a hot take there, studio. That is a hot take there. Wow. Well, I mean, who's the replacement for Jonah Williams? I mean, all the things from camp is pointing to he's looked solid. I'm not going to say the best left tackle ever or right tackle ever, but I mean, I heard he's pretty solid. And I don't know if we really have room to kind of cut a guy flat out like that. Because I'm looking at the depth for the Cardinals right now. The only really guy that I feel confident in that plays a tackle position is Kelvin Beachum. Like everybody else, Christian Jones is going to be missing time. Josh Fryer might make this freaking roster. Like, let's be real, he might make this roster. But there's nobody else that I really have any confidence that is going to be able to replace him. We're kind of stuck with them right now, right? He's a right tackle. And stuck with him sounds bad. I think he's solid. Did he not look great when he came back after injury? Yeah. At the end of the season, he looked a little bit better than when he originally came back. That's true. But I don't know. I just don't see a world where Jonah Williams does get the axe. I don't think we really have that much depth to just kind of flat out get rid of a starter like that, at least in my personal opinion. Agent 47 in the chat, right tackle position is a concern. We don't have good replacements for the future. Yeah, I think maybe these next few years, maybe we can start looking into the first round talents that are coming out of college, because you're right. I mean, when it comes down to Paris Johnson Jr., he's probably going to get a payday sooner rather than later. And then you got sorry, completely went blank. And then you end up having our, Jonah Williams, which is your right tackle. He's not going to be your right tackle for the future, right? He's a bridge guy. That's what he's here for. But you don't have anybody that's going to be the successor after him. You don't have anybody right now. So maybe the Cardinals do dip into maybe a first round, second round talent in the next couple of drafts to go ahead and rebolster up this offensive line. Because the only guy I see for the future on this line right now is the right guard position with Isaiah Adams, which has looked pretty solid, right? Let's see what regular season does for him. And then Paris Johnson. Everybody else doesn't seem like a future guy. And by future, I mean 3-4 years down the road. That's what I mean, right? Because I love for Holt, but is he going to be with us 3-4 years down the road? We don't know, right? We don't know. Evan Brown, bridge guy, right? Jonah Williams, bridge guy. So yeah, maybe we can start looking into first, second round talent, offensive linemen in the draft coming around. Steve in the chat, yes, Beacham's the only one. He is the only one that I feel confident that can replace any of these tackles in case there's an injury that happens. But what happens if Beachum goes down? Then we're SHIT out of luck. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So these are my potential cuts. I don't think there's anything shocking or surprising here. Maybe like the defense is a lot more intriguing than the offense. I'm gonna be real here. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of shocks when it comes down to the offense. But the defense, you might see a shock here and there. Like, this is not a shock, but Elijah Simmons, undrafted guy, right? I like Elijah Simmons. I really do. But is he going to make the roster? Like, that's going to be something where we're going to have to go ahead and take a look at, right? Steve in the chat, possibly Fry in a... Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? When you're talking about Josh Fryer, right? Ohio State alum, we got Justin Fry here, right? We got Justin Fry as our new, O-line coach, right? So maybe he can. Maybe he can unlock Fryer, right? In terms of being one of the best left tackles we can. I mean, he's probably going to make this roster. Josh Fryer and Justin Fry, they got a relationship with each other. They know each other, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely going to get a leg up there for sure. But yeah, Josh Fryer and Justin Fry. And that's going to be so confusing. That's going to be, especially if he becomes a starter, that's going to be so damn confusing to keep those two names separate. But yeah, let's keep it going in the chat. What's up, y'all? How goes the prediction of the 53? It's a tough one. This is probably the toughest year to try to predict, if I'm going to be real with you. This is one of the toughest the ones that I can predict, to be honest with you. Biggest reason why is the amount of depth that we have at cornerback and D line. Now, of course I would rather go into the season with Sean Murphy and Starling Thomas the fifth, 100%, of course, right? But we got so much depth when it comes down to our D line and cornerback, so much intriguing guys that it's so hard to actually make this 53-man roster. And another factor is BJ Ojolari, Walter Nolan, and Bilal Nichols coming off the PUP list? That's another question, right? So it's so hard to make this 53-man roster because when I originally made my other 53-man roster prediction, I accounted for BJ coming back. I accounted for Walter Nolan coming back. I accounted for Justin Jones making this roster, right? So there's a lot of contingency, right? There's a lot of contingencies that happen that could affect the 53. So it's so hard. This is one of the hardest 53-man rosters to predict, if I'm going to be real with you. Joey says, I say keep them all. Well, are you talking about BJ? You're talking about BJ and hopefully you can clarify for me. Oh, maybe. Yeah, keep them all. Who do you mean? Which is all, Joey? I'm a little confused. Maybe clarify, because if you're talking about BJ Ojolari, Walter Nolan, and Bilal Nichols, it's not really about keep them all. It's about, are they going to be available, right? Are they going to be removed off of PUP? Because if they're not going to be removed off the PUP list, guess what? They're missing 4 weeks at least of the regular season. At least. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough to see what the Arizona Cardinals decide to do. Because that can be a deciding factor if you have 5 open spots or 2 open spots, right? So it's going to be very, very tough and fascinating to see how the Arizona Cardinals end up handling this. Agent 47 in the chat says Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols are possible cuts. I mean, potentially, yeah, for sure. I'm curious to figure out what the dead money cap would be for if we did cut them. Let's do a real quick dive into over the cap here real quick. Let me see here real quick. I'm looking over at Bilal Nichols right now. If the Arizona Cardinals decide to cut Bilal Nichols, obviously post June 1st, because we're past June 1st already, we are going to have a dead money hit of $7.6 million, but we have a cap savings of $140,000. Let me give that back again. If the Cardinals decide to cut Bilal Nichols, we have a dead money hit of $7.6 million and a cap savings of $140,000. Now, Justin Jones, on the other hand, if the Arizona Cardinals decide to cut Justin Jones, they have a dead money hit of $11.2 million and a cap savings of $95,000. So it doesn't really benefit the Cardinals. I mean, unless they're willing to eat that dead money, right? Unless they're willing to eat the dead money. And let me show you what I'm looking at here. Shout out to Over the Cap. Shout out to Over the Cap here. Man, you can't see it on your end. Dang it. Okay, this is what I'm looking at Over the Cap. So Bilal Nichols was right here, right? Post June 1st cut. This is what we're looking at. This is dead money hit. This is savings right here. This is for Bilal Nichols. Justin Jones, dead money hit. And I know you guys can't see it on your end. I'll just have to tell you. Cap savings for Justin Jones, $95,000. Bilal Nichols, $140,000 for Bilal Nichols. So, big question is, are the Cardinals willing to eat it, right? Are the Cardinals willing to eat it? That's a big question, right? because it's not like we're going to be saving a lot of cap space, right? And on top of that, the Cardinals right now have a lot of cap space. Do y'all know how much we got? We got $35.3 million right now. $35.3 million right now in open cap space. $35.3 million. We're the fourth highest in the amount of cap space that we have per over the cap. Patriots being number 1, Lions being number 2, number 3 being the 49ers, and then number 4 being the Cardinals at $35.3 million, right? So we got cap space. It's just right now we're probably thinking for the future, right? What's the future telling us right now? That probably within the next few years, Paris Johnson's going to want to get paid. And within the next few years, Marvin's probably going to want to get paid, right? So there's money. That's all I'm trying to say. There's money. There's money. So although I agree Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols can potentially be cuts, all I'm seeing is dead money, right? All I'm seeing is a lot of dead money. But still, like I said, if the Cardinals are willing to eat it, they just have to worry about this year, and the next year, obviously, they're not worrying about because they're off the books. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's keep it going in the chat. Mega Man. What's up, Mega Man? Bring in McCord for a third string because that will boost morale with Marvin Harrison Jr., and that can light a fire under Kyler. Woo! Bring in Kyle McCord, they say. If you do not know, Kyle McCord was just released by the Eagles. They ended up using a 6th round pick. 6th round pick. And now they just released him flat out. And he was the quarterback of Marvin Harrison Jr. in Ohio State. I like where your mind's going. All right, let's do a real quick break from our sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Real quick break from our sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Shout out here to My Valley Prince. Quick 30-second break. Here you go.
Yo, Red Sea, you know how we rep the Cards with pride every Sunday, so why not rep your own squad the same way? Whether it's your business, your team, or your crew, My Valley Prints has you covered with custom screen prints and embroidery right here in the desert. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, you name it. From clean logos to bold game day drip, they'll make your vision look like a first-round pick. Local, reliable, and always bringing that Cardinal level energy. Hit up myvalleyprints@yahoo.com or DM them via Instagram to get your gear started. My Valley Prints, built for the Valley, designed for you.
Another shout out here to My Valley Prints. If you're looking for your next customizable shirts, hats, hoodies, anything you could potentially think of, go ahead and make sure you check out My Valley Prints. Best way to do it is via their Instagram. And on top of that, you can also send them an email to myvalleyprints@yahoo.com. Make sure you check them out. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's continue the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be one of the biggest stories for the Cardinals within the next few days. Is going to be who they cut, why did they cut them, what are the Cardinals thinking, are they getting people off of waivers? I think yes, and yes. It's all going to be talked about here on this show. So make sure you do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here since you are here. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are on the road to 18K. Cannot do it without you guys. So subscribe it up, smack the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Thank you. All right, let's continue the conversation. Keep it going here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we also did bring up this graphic in our last video that we ended up posting here. Stock up on the offense, right? There's a lot of players on this list that I would love to see on the 53. There's some players on this list that I like that probably won't make the 53 just because of depth that we have, right? So we're going to be diving into this. And I know a lot of people reached out to me saying, why isn't Jordan Birch on this list, Mike? You are crazy. Why isn't Jordan Birch on this list? Well, biggest reason why he's not on the list is we know he's a beast, right? I'm really talking about the guys that people don't really talk about more than anything. Jordan Birch has already kind of skyrocketed his stock to be, damn, that's going to be a potential starter for the Cardinals and maybe next year or maybe later on this year, right? You never know. Jordan Birch seems to be pretty darn sneaky, at least how he looked in preseason. Continue to develop and give us that type of production. He's going to be a beast. That's the reason why I did not put him here on this list. But, of course, number one is Jordan Birch, no doubt. But let's continue this list right now. Simi Fehoko. Step up, young man, because you definitely deserve a spot here in the 53. We all know that the Arizona Cardinals wide receiving core right now can potentially be labeled as, some might say, especially nationally, not the best wide receiving core per the national media, compared to all the NFL teams. Okay, I'll give you that. I know the Arizona Cardinals are expecting a big jump from Marvin. I know the Arizona Cardinals are really high on Michael Wilson, like I am as well. Then you got Zay Jones and Greg Dortch, and then right after them, it seems to kind of have a drop off, right? Simi Fehoko and Xavier Weaver deserve to be on this roster. They absolutely do. I'm excited to see Simi Fehoko suit up. Are we going to see him on first team reps? Unless there's some like bad injuries or some really underwhelming performances, we might not see Simi Fehoko. But I really do like what he's done. I really do like what he's done. He caught a touchdown pass by Toon, another one by Jacoby Brissett. He's done good things, man. He's really done really good things for the Arizona Cardinals this preseason. And he's shown up as one of the most reliable wide receivers that's played in preseason all 3 games. All 3 games. So definitely deserves it. Simi Fehoko, Xavier Weaver. ST stands for special teams. I like the look of special teams when it comes down to Xavier Weaver. Now, he's probably not going to get the nod over DJ Dallas. He's probably not going to get the nod over Greg Dortch. But hey, maybe for the future. He's got a twitchiness to him, man. He's got a twitchiness and a speed to him that I really, really do like as a potential punt/kick returner. But he most likely will make the roster as a wide receiver. Then you got your 2 running backs, Michael Carter, that's always showing good things. And then you got Zonovan Knight, aka Bam Knight, that's had really, really good things as well. Josh Fryer, most social media has pointed this out that Josh Fryer did not finish week 3 of preseason, and that's usually an indication that the Arizona Cardinals already like what they've seen from him. So potentially, maybe you're going to see Josh Fryer as a depth piece for the Cardinals moving forward. So yeah, keep your eyes out for Josh Fryer. Keep your eyes out for Josh Fryer. Let's do it real quick. Yeah, I don't know if you guys known. We said this a little earlier here in the stream. I see my guy Jameson saying breaking Parsons. Don't really know what that means, but we did hear Ian Rappaport earlier saying that there is teams calling about Micah and Trey Hendrickson for what it's worth. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to, Jameson, but yeah, Ian Rappaport ended up coming out and saying that yes, indeed, there is teams calling about them. Yep, both of them. All right, let's keep the conversation going. That's the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball. Woo, here we go. Defensive side of the ball. Elijah Jones. In week 3, he really proved that he can be a guy that has potential. All preseason, with the exception of week 3, and all training camp, Elijah Jones has not really done very much, if I'm going to be real. He's not done very much. But now he's kind of proven that, hey, he's doing some things, right? He's showing some flashes. Darren Hall, we all know, potentially 3 interceptions that could have happened in this preseason. Unfortunately, 2 of them didn't happen, but looks good. Xavier Thomas, late round pick last year. Potentially looks like a gem. Well, yeah, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble recovery. Last game, looks good. LJ Collier is going to make the squad. I'm sorry. That was one I got wrong. That was one I got wrong. I know. I remember specifically a comment on my video on my 53-man roster saying this guy hates LJ Collier. It's not that I hated LJ Collier. It's just that I really thought that Walter Nolan's gonna be ready. I thought Justin Jones wouldn't get hurt again. I thought Bilal Nichols wasn't gonna land himself on the freaking IR, right? B.J. Ojulari, obviously a different position, but it's kind of one of those things that, yeah, LJ Collier is going to make this roster. He is. He was at one point one of our best defensive linemen at one point. Not anymore, but great depth player, right? Keitrell Clark, shown some good things. So this is kind of what I kind of put together. I'm curious to figure out what your guys' thoughts are, though. Curious to figure out what your guys' overall thoughts are. Because honestly, right now, this is probably one of the best teams Arizona Cardinals have constructed in the last several years. No joke. It is. It's one of the best teams the Arizona Cardinals have constructed in the last several years. Agent 47 on the chat says Jordan Birch is defense. The list is about offense. Yeah. Yeah, he is defense. Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. You're 100% right. But if you look at my defensive, this is what I was talking about, right? Because he's not on my defense, right? I just wanted to get in front of it. We started off with the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball, he's not on my list. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of people reach out saying, why is Jordan Birch not on your list? Right? Biggest reasons because we all know. I just wanted to get in front of it before I even got deep down into the list. Hopefully that makes sense. Right? Obviously he's not defense. Obviously he's not offense. But when we move over to the defense, he's not on my list here again. That's all I was saying. I wanted to get in front of it. That's it. Keep it going here. We got Juan in the chat. What's up, Juan? Heck no, I'd rather keep BJ and Birch together. Well, the only reason why BJ's even being talked about right now is because there was John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports, which, I understand some people don't listen or don't think. But honestly, I still feel like he's probably the number one source out there in terms of, like, usually when he says things, they usually come into fruition. He was one of the first ones to come out and say that he doesn't think that Walter Nolan's going to be ready by week 1. He doesn't think that BJ Ojulari is going to be ready by week 1. He doesn't think that Bilal Nichols is going to be ready by week 1. He was one of the first ones to said it. And we made a video about it when he said it. And then I remember looking at the comments and everybody's like, oh, that's speculation, right? There's no reports coming out there. And you're right. It is speculation, 100%. But usually this guy doesn't miss. Usually, right? So right now, we are literally the day before the 53-man roster cut down. We still don't know what's happening with Walter Nolan. We still don't know what's happening with Walter Nolan. We still don't know what's happening with BJ Ojulari. We still don't know what's happening with Bilal Nichols. We still don't know. So that prediction / educated guess, I guess, holds weight. Holds weight. Holds weight. Now, we got some more breaking news coming here. Nothing to do with the Arizona Cardinals. Nothing to do with the Arizona Cardinals, but obviously, it's football-related news, and I want to make sure I give you guys all the accurate news that we can see, at least per the most reliable sources that we know of, right? Jordan Schultz has just recently came out. And said this. Sources: the Bengals have restarted talks with all-pro defensive end Trey Hendrickson on a new deal for 2025. My understanding is the two sides have been exploring a more unique avenue to get something done, giving Hendrickson more money this season while still letting his contract expire after the year has been discussed. More work to do, but there's cautious optimism, a source to say. So there you go. Now, Ian Rappaport ended up coming out and saying that there's teams calling about Henderson. There's teams calling about Parsons, right? Now Jordan Schultz is coming out saying that, hey, wait just a second. The Bengals are restarting talks with Hendrickson for what it's worth. Okay, cool. Let's see how that all shakes out. Let's keep it going with the chat. Freddie in the chat says, I still want Bam. Talking about Bam Knight, Zonovan. I just don't think he's going to make the roster, man. He looked good, though. He looked really, really good. Really good. It's just he's not going to surpass Connor Benson or Amari DeMarcado in my eyes, right? And the biggest reason why I keep bringing DJ Dallas in is because DJ Dallas is probably said to be your punt returner / kick returner. Unless the Cardinals make some sort of crazy move and they put Xavier Weaver as a punt returner / kick returner, it opens up another avenue where they probably can bring in another running back, not DJ Dallas, right? Will that happen? Very unlikely, but, just throwing it out there. I would love to see Xavier Weaver as a punt returner / kick returner in a more full-time basis. We'll see, though. We'll see how it goes. Not my decision. Agent 47, what's up, buddy? The Bengals and Cowboys are dumb. Why keep waiting to pay more? Yeah, 100%. This doesn't make sense to me, and it never made sense to me at all, one bit. It never made sense to me at all. I don't understand it one bit. They literally could have got Micah Parsons before TJ Watt got signed, right? Before all these other big time edge rushers got signed. They could have done it before and saved themselves some money. And guess what? Parsons came out and said, I would have gave you a hometown discount if we got this earlier. So, like, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't get it. Let's keep it going in the chat. Luck in the chat says, what's up, Red Sea? What's up, Luck? I love it in the eve of the cut day. Yeah, man, it's the eve of the final 53. Tomorrow will be the day. Tomorrow will be the day that we finally know. Steve in the chat. What's up, Steve? Does Josh Jones or Bilal... Oh, you mean Justin Jones. Justin Jones or Bilal Nichols make the roster? That's the question. That's the question. We just talked about this a little earlier. That's the big question. We don't know. We don't know. Is it one? Is it two? Is it none? Right? That's a big question. And yeah, Josh Jones was a former tackle for the Cardinals a few years back. And I think we ended up trading him to the Texans, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, Justin Jones is who you're talking about. Yeah, Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols, do they make the roster? Well, if they don't, there's 2 open spots there. You know what I mean? If they don't make it, there's 2 open spots. But we just talked about this a little earlier. You don't really gain anything out of cutting them unless you're willing to eat the dead money, right? Because there's a lot of dead money, at least per over the cap. And kind of re-bringing in the point that we talked about, if you cut Justin Jones, you have a dead money hit of $11.2 million, cap savings of $95,000. If you cut Bilal Nichols, you have a dead money hit of $7.6 million, and then a cap savings of $140,000. So, like, it's not like it opens up a lot of money for you, right? But they were decisions that were made by Monty because of the Iron Man tag, right? The Iron Man tag that was put on them that unfortunately they didn't really amount to anything. Justin, what's up, Justin? I'm curious to see how the offense operates. We made almost no changes and we're expecting something different. What's going to be different? Thoughts? That's a good question. This is a fascinating question. And I agree with you. This is one of the main reasons why I jumped up and down in terms of why, like, we should be bringing in different talent. Now, let me be a little positive here, right? Let me put some little positivity on the note, because originally this was my main thought too, right? Let me put some little positivity spin to this. We did not have Zay Jones in the start of last year. Now, I get it. It's Zay Jones. We're not talking about Terry McLaurin. We're not talking about, right, a top 5, top 10, top 15 wide receiver. I'm aware of that. But we did not have Zay Jones last year in the beginning of the season. Zay Jones was suspended for the first 5 games. And believe it or not, you bringing in a wide receiver that is over 6 foot in the slot, giving Kyler Murray, obviously, a bigger target up the middle on slants, on drag routes, right? Those type of things, quick hooks, right? It does open up a level of, okay, this can potentially work out better. Let's not forget that Zay Jones at one point was a 2nd-round pick, right? Zay Jones was a 2nd-round pick at one point. Now, when he got drafted by the Buffalo Bills, of course, they were expecting a lot better, right? They were expecting a lot more production, especially when you use the 37th overall pick on him, right? You expect a lot more from him, and rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. But Zay Jones has had some really good seasons, pretty darn good seasons. His best season was probably in 2022 when he racked up 823 yards and 5 touchdowns. That was probably his best season. In 2018, 652 yards, 7 touchdowns. So he's had some seasons here and there, right? But this does bring a level of, okay, that's a little different. Let me throw some other little differenceness, right? Simi Fehoko. Simi Fehoko looks good. Simi Fehoko looks good. So there is that. And then maybe Xavier Weaver hopefully takes the jump. Fingers crossed. I'm going to be real. I was hyping up Xavier Weaver a lot. I wanted to see a little bit more in the preseason. I saw a good amount of him, and I liked what I saw in training camp. But preseason is the next step, right? I didn't really see as much as I would hope from Xavier Weaver. So to kind of give a little more sprinkle, and then on top of that, we're going to be seeing a little bit more Trey Benson. So, but it's a very valid point. It's a very valid point. How old is Zay Jones? He's 30. Zay Jones is 30 years old. He's been in the league since 2017. So this is going to be his 10th career. Wow. This is going to be his 10th career in the NFL. 10th. Wait, let me count this again. 1, 2. Yeah, 2025. This is going to be his 10th year. Insane. That's crazy. Wait, how? Oh, that's not right. I'm sorry. That's not right. That's completely incorrect. I'm sorry. 1, 2. This is going to be his ninth season, not 10th. I'm sorry. His ninth. What got me tripped up is that he went from the Bills to the Raiders in 2019, and they split it up. So that's what tripped me out. So this is actually technically going to be his ninth career in the NFL. Last year, he really didn't amount to anything, unfortunately. It was eight receptions, 84 yards for the Cardinals. Not good. But let's see what he does in the start of the season. Yeah, and this is true too. Yeah, this is true too. Marv got bigger, right? Marv got bigger. The Cardinals are expecting a big jump. They're expecting a big jump from him. Michael joining the chat. What's up, Michael? Hi guys, what's going on, man? X in the chat says, Mike, I'm sure you've gone over this, but I forget, what is your prediction for the Cardinals' floor, ceiling, and actual prediction win? This is so hard, man. It really is. It really is. I'm usually good in terms of like providing like some sort of prediction and like sticking with it. I want to see double digits. Floor probably would be like 8 and 9. I want to see double digits this year. I want to see double digit wins, whether that's 10, 11, 12, 13. It's just that second part of the schedule is so hard to predict. It's so hard to predict because I don't know if we're finally going to get it right. I don't know if we're finally not going to crash and burn at the end of the season, right? So although optimism is at a pretty all-time high during the season, right now when we're 2 weeks or a little under than 2 weeks before the season, like I want to be optimistic. It's just I got that in my mind that we keep crashing and burning at the second part of the season, and we got such a tough part of the second part of the season that we got to stack up wins in the beginning. You have to. Saints, you got to beat them. I know the Panthers always beat you, but you got to beat the Panthers. You got to take advantage of the 49ers with no Brandon Ayuk, potentially no Jawan Jennings. You got to take advantage of those, and you got to win on Thursday Night Football versus the Seahawks. I'm not saying you have to start off 4-0, but you got to be over 500. You got to be over 500 in that 4-game stretch because the last part of the season is going to be tough. Tough. The back half is tough. It's a tough schedule. And I know we keep talking about it, but let me just reemphasize, right? Let me reemphasize what we got going for us after the after week 10, or at least the last 6 games, right? The last 6 games of the season in November 30th. This is not even November football. This is November 30th. So the end of November 30. Sorry, the end of November. We got the Bucks, the Rams, the Texans, the Falcons, the Bengals, and the Rams again. The last 6 games, we could either go 3-3, 2-4, 1-5, right? 2-3. Like you never know. We can go 5-0. I don't know. I don't know how to predict. I want to see what this Cardinal team can do in the first half. I feel like that will give you a better prediction because right now I'm just excited. I'm just giddy as hell that the Cardinals are going to be starting up here pretty soon. So yeah. Let's keep this going here. Trying to see if there's any more news dropping. We do know right now that the Arizona Cardinals have not made any moves. There is teams that are starting the 53-man roster cut down now, right? There is teams that are starting the 53-man roster cut down now. We've seen the Browns do it. We've seen a couple other teams. We've seen the Eagles just release Kyle McCord using a 6th-round pick on him this last year. And now he's gone. So, yeah, man, it's fascinating. Pedro, when it comes to the color, Murray, what we really need to focus on is what he does after the bye week. Would you agree? It's how, yep, 100%. When it comes down, I'm assuming you mean like when it comes down to Murray, that's what you're saying, to Kyler Murray. Well, we really need to focus on what happens out. 100%. 100%. Our bye week is on week 8, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. I think it's week 8. Yeah, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, week 8. Week 8 is going to be our bye week. So we got the Packers on October 19th, and you don't see the Redbirds suit up until November the 3rd. That's going to be a big bye week. Good God. So October 19th, Packers, and we don't suit back up until November the 3rd versus the Cowboys. And now it's a primetime game. So we got a lot of time to prepare for the Cowboys in Dallas. So it's going to be fun. Cardinals waiving Andre Bocelli. That makes sense. I don't see it anywhere. Let me see. 1 second, everybody. Here we go. Oh, yep, there you go. I just saw it right here too. An hour ago. How did I not see this? Yeah. There it is. An hour ago. Okay. Let me... One second. You are right. So I'm going to get this screenshot right now so we can take a look at this together. I mean, it's no surprise, right? It's no surprise. But let's ring the bell. It's been a while. Ring the bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, an hour ago, and I did not know why I did not see this, but shout out here to Aaron Wilson saying the Cardinals waiving wide receiver Andre Bocelli per league sources. He's been with the team since 2021. Plan is to get him back on the practice squad if he clears waivers. Produces when he gets the opportunity. This is exactly what I was saying a little earlier, too. He just never seems to make the roster. Never seems to. And although he can have a really good preseason, he always seems a guy that's with us in off-season things. Yeah, there you go. Andre Bocelli. No longer an Arizona Cardinal. But, I mean, not really shocking, right? I don't think it's really shocking news. We had him here as a potential cuts because he just never makes it, man. He never makes the roster at all. Okay, there you go. First cut to be made per Aaron Wilson. Andre Bocelli now landing himself as a potential practice squad Cardinal player if he does not get claimed. There it is. Starting to happen. Bart, what's up, Bart? Who is your surprise player that's going to sneak in and make the 53-man roster for the Arizona Cardinals? Who is my surprise cut or person that's going to sneak in? Maybe Simi Fehoko? Josh Fryer? I don't think Xavier Weaver's in that realm anymore. Obviously, he already made it last year, so he's not in that realm. But These are the three these are the three on the offensive side of the ball: Simi Fehoko, Xavier Weaver, Josh Fryer. For the defensive side of the ball, Darren Hall, I would love to see. Do I think he's going to make it? I mean, I don't know. Darren Hall, I would love to see on the defensive side of the ball. There were some people saying that Xavier Thomas could potentially get the axe, but he did a good job this last preseason game. Very good job. So I guess that would be my sneak, right? I guess the offensive side is a little bit more sneaky than the defensive side. So going back to that, probably Simi Fehoko, Josh Fryer. Good question. It's a good question. Luck in the chat says, all jokes aside, I'd rather have a QB playing Call of Duty instead of Club. That, I mean, to be real, I'm going to be real with you, Luck. I would rather, I like Kyler Murray's personality. I really do. I have no issues with Kyler Murray playing video games. I have no issues. Truly. The only thing that I say is that, like, damn, like, I don't think it's Kyler Murray getting Call of Duty. I don't think Kyler Murray is not practicing or looking at film when it comes down to November and December football. No, I just think that the intensity level of November and December football goes up a tick. It goes up a notch. And I just don't think we're providing that same intensity on football. I don't think it has anything to do with Call of Duty. It's just the jokes, right? The jokes, obviously, they're going to keep going unless the stigma goes away. But to me personally, I don't think it has anything to do with games or Kyler not working hard or, not looking at film. No, I think he's doing all the things he needs to do. Truly. It's just, I think November and December football are different. And we're not providing that same intensity. It's a different brand of football. It's playoff football, essentially. It's the team that you are going to be if you're a playoff team or not. So, for what it's worth, there's that. I don't think Kyler Murray plays Call of Duty anymore. Call of Duty sucks. I mean, he might. I mean, I know he signed a partnership with Call of Duty, so he might still. He might still. But yeah, fascinating, man. Absolutely fascinating. Let's take a couple more comments. Call of Duty was a game falling off. That's funny. Yeah, it seems like Call of Duty isn't one of the tops anymore. It's all good, though. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with it. We had over 80 people here on the YouTube side. Yeesh. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. Smack up the like button. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes. Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it for the algorithm real quick. Smack up the like button if you're watching me here on the YouTube side. Smack the like button. Appreciate you guys for being here and subscribe. We're on the road to 17K. On the road to 17K. We're actually trending to already hit 17,300. And we just hit 17,200 not too long ago. So we're already trending in the right direction. So smack the like button and subscribe if this is your first time here. Appreciate it. You think Dallas will be cut? What do you mean? You think Dallas? You mean the team? I don't get it. Clarify for me, please. Clarify. Pedro, what's up, Pedro? I was there at the game Saturday, and I kept making Raider fans mad by saying they sound like SpongeBob getting drunk off ice cream. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, Raiders fans are funny. I don't know what to say other than that. They're funny. So Matthew in the chat says, you think Dallas will be cut? Oh, wow, I'm done. I'm so dumb. DJ Dallas, the running back. Wow, I'm dumb. Good God. That's not on you. That's on me. I thought you were talking about the team. I've no idea why DJ Dallas didn't come to my mind. No, I don't think he will be cut. No. Good God. That's on me. I'm so dumb. Yeah, no. DJ Dallas, I don't think he will be cut. If he does, dang, I hope Xavier Weaver takes that position. I really do hope that he takes that position. That would be so cool to see Xavier Weaver in that position. Sorry, brother. Sorry. I made you chat more than you had to just because my dumbness. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, no, I don't think he will be. um, Excellent. He's talking about DJ. Yeah. I saw that a little too late. I should have read that before I looked really dumb there. All right, y'all. But in that note, let's close up shop here. At that note, let's close up shop. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are all magnificent, right? If we get any other news about big time things that happened today, like Andre Bocelli, right? Not making the roster, which is not a big time news, but that's kind of something that was expected. But now, if anything else happens, we are going to obviously make videos and kind of be very, very involved in bringing you guys the news as possible as fast as we possibly can. So do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button here on your way out. Subscribe. We're on the road to 18K. Cannot do it without you guys. So appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Closing up shop right here. You guys are all amazing. Jerry Jones should be cut. Yes, that's where my mind was going. That's what you're saying. Is Dallas gonna be? That's why I don't know why my mind was like maybe Dallas will be cut. I don't know, but no, DJ Dallas will not be cut in my opinion. All right, y'all, let's close up shop right here. All right, you guys are all amazing. Thank you everybody for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you a little later on, most likely once we get some more news about potential players being cut or players that are already cut by the Cardinals. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.